Earlier this week, our president delivered a speech about how he perceives the state of the American Union. It seems right and proper that I, as president of the Worcester Tea Party, should advise you about the state of the Worcester Tea Party and of the greater Tea Party movement in Massachusetts and New England. No one can contemplate the current conditions we find ourselves in without seeing both that which is encouraging and that which is unsatisfying. I have met with patriots from New Hampshire and Connecticut and Rhode Island and across our Commonwealth. All have stories of what has succeeded. All know disappointment. All are working in their own way to reach our common goal. Tea Party members have played their part in these most recent elections. There have been triumphs and defeats, but the enduring result is that we have learned that our values can win in Massachusetts, and that our Commonwealth is not beyond hope. We are beginning to learn which tactics should be pursued, which actions should be taken for our own deliverance. We are clearly determined to faithfully and conscientiously do what needs to be done to make the future brighter for our children. Our movement started with high hopes and lofty goals. In 2009, when we began, few would have thought that 5 years later we would still be thickly contesting the issues that we are struggling with. Some of us have grown impatient with that slow pace of change and with the sparse victories we have won. Our competition has outpaced us in many ways. They have been on the field longer. They have garnered the expertise, the skills, and the resources that enable them to effectively campaign. This is not to say that our cause is lost, or that those who have retired from the fray are correct, but it is to acknowledge that it is not going to be easy, that there is no easy part to what we seek to do. The biggest change in the Worcester Tea Party in the past year has been my accepting the role as president of the Worcester Tea Party. I hope to bring new and revitalizing energy to the struggle we are in. More will be asked of all of our members in this upcoming year. The excesses in the NDAA need to be opposed. There is work that needs to be done to halt smart meters. Common Core can be stopped if we step up our efforts. Free speech and property rights and self-defense and high taxes still require our vigilance. We have seen how our competitors have afflicted the voters. We have seen them circumvent the will of the people and have their agenda enacted into law. And we've seen the consequences of this agenda time and time again. Our movement will need more from each of us. It is the Tea Party movement in our nation, and we in the Worcester Tea Party, who stand against this onslaught. We see through this veil of misrepresentations and slick advertising they use to hide these hoary old ideas. We know they offer the same old failed policies, just rewrapped in shiny packaging. They all have the same familiar ring. If you give us your freedom, we will make your life easier. It is the siren song of tyrants and dictators since the dawn of time. The people of Worcester are smarter than that. And frankly, all our neighbors in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts are smarter than that too. We must trust that if we give them the truth, they will give votes to us. Those who are in competition with the Worcester Tea Party for the hearts and minds of our fellow citizens are very skilled. They are very dedicated, and they are passionate in their beliefs. In some ways, we and they are just alike. We must grow our skills, we must strengthen our dedication, and we must share our passion. But there is one way that we must never become like them. We cannot vilify them the way that they vilify us. We must not strip them of their humanity in the way that they attempt to strip us of ours. We have all seen what happens when demagogues give license to the violent with hate-filled rhetoric. We have seen how careless actions bring traffic to a standstill and put people in peril. This is the most important difference between our competitors and us. We do not feed on jealousy and narcissism and hate. Our movement is based on love of country and not fear of the other. That is why we shall win. Now, while other eyes turn to Washington, we should act in our cities and towns. We must take part in local politics to enable the change that we wish to see in national politics. It will take our time, our talent, and treasure as we prepare ourselves, our Commonwealth, and our country for the 2016 presidential election. Without that support, no one's efforts will be enough. Without your efforts, we will not see change in 2016. Without your commitment, we will continue down this terrible road that our country has been on. The government bureaucracy will expand, and our freedoms will contract. The nation that we leave to our children will be one with less opportunity, greater poverty, and more hopelessness than has ever been seen on these shores before. As I have faith in our principles and our ideals, I have faith in our members. I believe that by working together, we will be able to move forward on these issues, that we will have the victories that will allow us to make these changes. Then we will truly forge a more perfect union here in our Commonwealth and in our nation as a whole. Together we can reform this government so that it will serve the people, and it will secure liberty and prosperity for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you for listening. God bless Massachusetts, and God bless America.